the father of the prize. Rory, would you like to go?
Yes, yeah. Okay, I suppose I'd start with, this wasn't really in the scheme of things. 8 people, you kind of feel you're talking to yourself here. But
no, we're listening.
at least we got 50
Yeah, I thought it was
at the
lovely.
ceremony, and it's been a great day so far, and hopefully we keep going like that. I'd like to welcome everybody here, especially Pat, and unfortunately Tony, all staff can't be here. But we wish him all the best, and hopefully he gets well soon. Now, it's a great day for myself and Noreen, looking at our only daughter walking down the aisle. I'm sure for Pat and Tony, looking at their only son walking down the aisle, it's as much a great day. I know when you look at your children coming in with partners, you're always looking to see, are there small little bits of affection, or how they treat each other, there's no irritation, etc. And you're just hoping that everything's smooth with them. And to be honest, we look at that with all our children, and no more so than with Paul and Jennifer. And we would have seen, nice bits of attention, and we would have always felt that yes, they probably would get married. Although, I suppose, we didn't see it coming all of a sudden. Because Noreen would have asked Jennifer at Christmas time, birthdays, Valentine's, would have always been, any news, Jen? You didn't get married, didn't get engaged, did you? No, ma'am, I'll tell you if I get engaged. So kind of in September, it was no special day to us. And actually how it happened was, I was out doing the garden, and Noreen came in from town or somewhere, and she came in, my phone was on the kitchen table, and she came out to me and said, "You have 3 missed calls from Pauline." And I said, well, probably wants you, he doesn't want me. But it transpired that he was looking for me, obviously to ask the special question. And then when we did actually make contact, and he asked me the question, of course, yes, you can have my daughter's hand in marriage. And then I discovered they'd already done the deed. I was kind of, well, he didn't get me on the phone, so I was kind of superfluous to that operation. For Jennifer, had a great interest in GAA. She travelled the country watching GAA. I suppose when it all started because I would have brought the kids travelling the country, going to championship matches around. And then Jennifer took up going around, she'd be in Kerry or Clones or Kilkenny or Wexford, and she would have brought Rory along with her a lot of the times. And I kind of missed, she met Paul and she kind of drained a little bit on the going to GAA matches. I wouldn't see her as often in Parnell Park as I did before. And I get in touch and say, oh, Vincent's are playing championship for us. Oh, I won't make it. I'm doing the market or I'm doing something. But you never know. Now that she's got her man, she can relax now and then start going back to Parnell.
Start dragging him back with me.
Well, as long as it's corporate level.
Now, her other hobby she travelled the country with was Cultus, Clone Area. She probably doesn't think she travelled the country, but we travelled with her. And she loved the set dancing. And we got to love the set dancing as well. Now, and dancing now wise, we won't mention Diggs Lane. That's kind of not on the radar today. We'll stick with Cultus. And I remember with Cultus actually, she got playing music, which she hadn't played before. And then, I remember one year, I can't remember when it was, but they were entering, Sean Tracy, her branch, were entering into Dublin Fla competition in music, and she cobbled together a trio to play. Now, they weren't given much hope, because all the special musicians were all pairing off together. And they cobbled together this trio, and not only did they get through Dublin, but they actually won through Leinster also. And they played in the National Flag.
Yeah.
I think it was down in Clonmel, was it? Yeah, the National Flag in Clonmel, which was a great achievement, but nobody really gave them a hope of making it. Now, unfortunately, they didn't win, but it was a great time for us all that we got down. And Then, after travelling the country with GAA and with COTUS, then she started travelling off to the States. She got locked in with the O'Flaherty cousins. And she made great friends in wherever, Boston or Pittsburgh or wherever she went. And she had a special friend in Jamie O'Flaherty, who she's still very friendly with. And she was at Jamie's wedding. I'm sure he would have been here today
He was
under
online.
different circumstances. Then, of course, she met Paul. Of course, out went the GAA, but then in came the dogs. Now, I don't know where they came from. I mean, the only pets we would have had in the house were goldfish or terrapins or something like that. I mean, four-legged creatures didn't cross the path unless they were the mice I caught in September or October. Otherwise, there was nothing like that. Sadie, little Sadie was a lady. Now, she was quiet, she'd come in and sit beside the fire. She was a lovely dog, but she was probably like that because she was fairly sick
Yeah.
and old. But then Sadie passed away, and then came the two whirlwinds, Lucy and Paddy. Now, you just can't match them, but they're brilliant when they come to see us. If we hoist them out to the back
They
garden,
love
like out
you.
there, straight out the
You
back
for playing ball,
door.
but Paddy does.
But I suppose it said that the secret to a lasting relationship is to fall in love with somebody who has just fallen in love with you. And I think that may have happened with Jennifer and Paul. And hopefully it's a recipe for a long and loving relationship. Before I finish, once again, I'd like to say, unfortunately, Paul's dad can't be here. If Tony gets to see this, hopefully you'll be up and around soon, running around the golf course 5 days a week, as you told us.
I'd say we'd bring you to Shelburne for a week to make up for not being here.
Tony, did you hear that?
I'd just like to wish Paul and Jennifer a long and happy and healthy and especially loving relationship. So if we toast Paul and Jennifer.
Yes.
Cheers. Paul and Jennifer.
Paul and Jennifer, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Dad, that was gorgeous.
Cheers.
Really lovely.
Thank you. Thank you, Rory.
I didn't think obviously I'd be here today, so I didn't plan any big speech, and I think that will suit Paul and Jen. But I've known you now like a few years, and I do have to say you're one of the most matched couples that I know. I think you're well considered, and I can only see a long and happy marriage. And then Paddy and Lucy make that all the more special. You're also the two people that I know that loved animals more than anyone else, and it's a lovely trait. And I know I'm going to be friends with this for years, and I always love coming down to a place. If it's with my dog or not, still, it's always fun, and yeah.
Big dad syndrome.
Yeah.
Small dad, big dad syndrome.
Yeah, true. But no, and the whole day actually went great. I knew it would be unique today, and it certainly was. And I also only found out today that Paul and Jen had their first date on this date five years ago. I was wondering why they were adamant that May the 12th was going to be the big day, and I actually only found out this morning, so it all makes sense now. Yes, so guys, I wish you a long and happy marriage, and I know you will have a long and happy marriage, and you can't say that about many couples these days, but I know you'll be with each other for a life. Now, I've got one email here, it's all the way from Melbourne, and it's the Smith family, and Neve and Dara have sent just they're saying the best congratulations and best wishes from Melbourne. So I know they may not have seen the live stream, but I'd say they are witches in spirit. So guys, that's all
Thank you, Sean.
I have to say. I'll pass you over to Paul.
There's a passion, do you?
Paul.
I'm just going to passion.
Oh, actually,
Sorry, Pat wants to say
Oh,
something.
passion.
Pass.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, you can wait. You know.
Go ahead.
Pass on there.
It's very going to be short again, Sean.
You said yourself.
I'm delighted to be here today, and I just want to welcome Jane into the O'Reilly family. And it was great to see Paul and Jane. So happy today. That's it.
Well done.
Thank you, Pat.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Something very small.
And you
Just-
just to do
Yes.
Yeah,
it. It's good to see you.
third or fourth chair.
Yeah.
Just seeing as I'm here, I say essentially representing both Jennifer and Paul. I just want to say, like I said in my card yesterday, Paul, couldn't be happier for you. I married both my best friends and my sister in one. And Jen, we look absolutely beautiful. And you're nearly had me crying.
Come over for a hug.
And look, you almost, you know that, don't you? And you said,
Yeah.
You're not even done. That's all right. Just have a pause.
Go on, keep going, keep going. Go on.
But Paul, I couldn't have been more honoured than when you took me apart in Holywell and asked me to be your groomsman. Because obviously, I would have been fairly surprised, but Jen asked me to be your bridesmaid. So I managed to squeeze my way into the wedding party. It was one of the best things in my life. You know what it meant to be when Shane asked me to be his best man. So to have been asked to have been apart from my sister's wedding, who I've grown up with like that forever, it meant the world to me. So thanks so much. And just like Dad said, Jane was always into GAA and hurling and football and camogie, and Paul, you've been into boats.
We'll get him yet.
I remember the first day, the very first day, Mum was quizzing Jen, as she does, on who this new fellow was who Jen was seeing. And I knew Jen was seeing somebody because she was going off the map all the time and was out for a walk or out with Jay or out with Alice or something like that.
Or Hazer.
But then, and I remember I was sitting down at the end of the table and me and Jen were, as Dad talked about, we were heading down to Nolan Park to watch the Dublin footballers against Kilkenny, or no, against Laois in Kilkenny.
Yeah.
And Mum turned around to Jen and was like, who is he, who is he, who is he? And Jen obviously was like, doesn't matter, Mum, I'll tell you later, I'll tell you another time, I'll tell you when we're home. And Mum, being Mum, got it out of Jen. And then she turned around and was like, what's his name? And obviously Jen said Paul, and that alone, Mum having her first one being named Paul, put a smile on Mum's face, well, not a bad start. And then Mum was like, oh, is he into the GAA? And I was sitting there on my phone eating away, and Jen turned around and said, no, he's into boats. And I nearly spat out what I was saying. I was like, how can you be into boats? And then I was even talking to Shane about how you're into boats and how you're into your GA, but like Dad said, you managed to find one thing that you bond over in dogs. And having a dog who loves me more than its owners, that's what I can say about that. But I just want to say that I wish you the best in the future, and like I said, I couldn't have been happier for you. As I saw you all walk down the line with your beautiful bridesmaid Aisling, Flower Girls and bridesmaids and Florence, Anna, Cara, and who can't be here with us today unfortunately, and Shane, no doubt, is to be watching this on the camera,
Yeah.
along with Paul, Dara, Shane, Andrea, Ian, Clodagh, Nana, Grandad, Lauren, Florence, And then obviously Paul's dad, who unfortunately isn't with us today, who I think will just toast to Tony here now.
Yeah.
But
Well done, Rory.
To Tony.
Tony.
so
To
so
Tony.
Tony, I wish you speed recovery. Hello to everyone at home, to everyone abroad in America, England, Melbourne. I think that's all the places.
Scotland.
Scotland, Vera. Oh yeah. over
You better
in
stick
Greece.
England in there.
You
Oh, I thought
did,
England
you did.
before Melbourne. Just hello to everyone, and Jen, I hope you have the best day in your life with yourself, Paul, obviously, because I know this is one of the best days in my life and in all the parents' lives. So I wish you the best.
Rory, thank
Well
you.
done, Rory, well done.
Well done, Rory.
You have me in pictures. Come here. Thank you. That was
So-
incredible.
Paul, I think it's
Yeah,
down.
no,
Oh,
no,
it's
actually,
Aisling,
Yes.
go ahead.
Sorry, I need to gather myself
Online.
after that. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Jennifer and Paul for inviting me here today to help them celebrate on their special day. Jennifer, you are absolutely stunning bride. The moment I saw you in your dress for the first time, I couldn't help but hide my emotions. Not only did you look beautiful in the dress, but you were so happy too, and that is everything I've ever wished for. When I look at yourself and Paul together, I see how much love you have for each other. The gentle way that Paul speaks about his lovely Jen shows that you have found a true gentleman in Paul, and that you are both made for each other. It is an absolute honour and a privilege to be your maid of honour today. Ever since I was a little girl, I have always looked up to you with such admiration. You are kind, caring, loyal and trustworthy, and I'm so thankful that you are the closest person to a sister that I will ever have. We have made so many wonderful memories together, from bus journeys to Wormhole, to arriving in a taxi, to an abandoned hotel in Tenerife, and of course, our wagon meals on our flight to Italy. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for always being there for me, whether it is to laugh or hold my hand. I can always rely on you. On behalf of all your loved ones who cannot be here today, we are so proud of you, both on your wedding day. And I wish you both a lifetime of health, happiness, and many opportunities for magical memories to be made together.
Thank you, Aaron.
Well done, Aisling, well done. And last but not least,
No,
Oh.
we're not even here, lads.
are we not? No,
No, I
no.
believe not.
Oh, excuse me, I wasn't aware.
No, neither was I.
Go ahead, Nori.
I'm really nervous.
Don't worry.
Don't be, you're with family.
No. This is a special little mention for Jennifer and Paul that I have. It's not a display of my talent. It's just a display of how much I love the two of you. Now. This is your lovely day. It is the day you will remember, the day you're dying. They can't take this away. It will always be yours. The sun and the wine, the seabirds crying. All happiness must pay. And if your ship goes down, she'll go with the flag still flying. You remember that this is your lovely day.
Well done, Nori, well done.
Thank you, Aaron.
So, next up, it's the bride, is
You
it?
going, Jen?
Just very, very briefly.
Are you saving the best to last?
I kind of feel obliged, because if I don't say anything, I'm the only one in the
That's
room.
it, yeah?
But, no, for Jane,
Jennifer hasn't spoken yet.
Paul has, all along, since we got engaged, we've called it the perfect, imperfect wedding because we're in the middle of a pandemic. You know, it's simply put. But like was mentioned already today, almost this time exactly, 5 years ago today, myself and Paul met for the first time. So we knew that today was going to be our special day. And I have had a ball. I have had an absolute ball. If it all ended now, it would be the best day ever, you know. So I'm just so lucky with the people I have around me. I'm so lucky with the people who have been there and who have supported me in arranging this. And we've had so many ups and downs and cancellations and reconfigurations and 6 guests, 25 guests, 50 guests, no guests. Jesus, it was me and Paul, and it was like whatever, you know. But we got there, and we were determined. You know, we were so determined, and I'm so happy. You know, and I know Paul is so happy too. And this is the start of something beautiful for me and Paul, because we're so happy together. I'm so happy to be married to Paul. But you know, I've so many, like I said, I've so many great people who are here for me. Mum and Dad, obviously number one. All my family, like how lucky am I to have 2 parents and 2 grandparents at my wedding at 41 years of age. You know, there's not many people who can say that. To have Aisling and Rory here who are just, you know, beyond, it's hard to put into words what Aisling and Rory mean to me. You know, and their 2 fabulous speeches. But we got here, and that's the main thing for me and Paul. You know, for a lot of people, having a small gathering like this in a hotel would not be their thing. But we just said, life has been on hold for so long that we want today to be our day, whatever happens. And the Shelburne had so kindly reserved the larger room for us up until last week, but you know, it wasn't to be, but we will celebrate again. For anybody who's watching the video, for anybody who couldn't get to the church, for anybody who was at the church and went home, you know, for anybody who sent any messages, I couldn't explain the support we have had. And we are just so grateful for all of that. And please God, in a year's time, we'll have a party when these restrictions are over, you know, and we can celebrate with everybody. I'm upset. These are all happy tears. I have had an amazing day, and it's just, I can't believe it's here. I'm trying to take it all in. I keep being told you have to stop and take it all in. Stop at least once an hour and take it all in. But I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody. Obviously my parents, as I said, number one, but Pat, Paul, Aisling, Rory, Dave, you're here as well. You're doing an amazing job. Sean,
I got up to make a speech.
you know, and yeah, I'll leave it at that and just say thank you to everybody, and I hope everybody.
And now last but not least,
By no means least.
the man of the moment. Paul O'Riordan, get out there.
I think I wrote this yesterday morning about 8:30 in the morning. Disappears. Is that the reaction I tend to get up on the top?
All goddamn both.
Oh,
You only start the speech, don't you go?
I'm sick of listening to you. No.
I know there's going to be a bit of repetition between Jen's and mine, so I'll go with what's scripted anyway. So, firstly, it's a huge thank you to absolutely everybody for the help and support in making the day happen. It has been quite a challenge, requiring quite a few and different ideas to create the perfect moment. I've never heard of a drive-by town before.
No.
Never. A huge thank you, and to say how absolutely, a huge thank you to all the bridesmaids and how absolutely amazing and beautiful they all look today. They watched them walking up before Jen. Then of course we must move to the parents of both the bride and the groom, who also looked absolutely amazing today. A huge thank you to Noreen and Rory and your parenting skills in helping to make Jen a superhuman that looks out of this world, and now I proudly get to call my wife. Another huge thank you must also go to my parents for helping to make me the person that stands before you, full of pride, joy, happiness, and having cemented our loving relationship today. A special note to Dad. Sadly, you're not here in person, but you are in spirit. You've probably had more attention than anyone else today, but while we're sad about it, at this moment in time, you're in the best place to look after yourself, and we will get to see you later on today, and of course celebrate as time passes. As you're aware, today marks 5 years to the day, at 7:30, that Jen and I first met, and oh my God, where's that time gone? Yeah, we know it's 5 years, but from the moment we met, it just, how do I say this? It's like we knew each other a hell of a lot longer than we did, and yet we'd say it's only 2 months or whatever, and it was like as if we had always known each other. The first date was 5.5 hours. There was not one awkward moment or silence in that time. We were, as I said, we were always amazed at how quickly we got to know each other and how comfortable we felt straight away in each other's company. It's been so often the case of, would you ever get out of my mind? I was just about to say that. It just seems that our similar ideas and moments come together. It is very much like the reflection today that you could be sitting on the couch without even speaking a word, and just an absolutely lovely evening. And you feel like you've had a great conversation or whatever it is. And we are very much other halves, and today we've been joined together. All throughout the wedding process, we sat together, usually on a Saturday night about 9 o'clock. Seems though the devil was over, and initially you'd kind of be upset that we weren't giving her a bit of attention in our lives. It was a 9:15, but we overcome all the hurdles that were thrown at us, and as Jen says, all the different combinations. There was list for this, list for that situation, whatever. But I have to say, I love you, Jen. I think I alluded to what love was, or the best description I could find of love was in the letters I wrote you yesterday. And it really is saying someone else, not quite more important, but holding your best interests and your thing higher than even my own. And I know that that happens on Jen's point too. So I know I love Jen, and I know Jen loves me. I love everything about her, from her humour, her beauty, her caring nature, and so many others, probably totally millions of things. I know that I'm in my happy place when I'm having a hug with Jen and realising how lucky I am to have Jen, and that I am now able to call Jen my wife. The wedding as it is not what we originally planned, but we realised fairly early on that other things would have to be different, and that we arranged so many different things to overcome the wedding. So to put it simply, it's just to celebrate our love and commitment to each other. And so in our eyes, it is, as Jen pipped me at the post, the imperfect, perfect wedding. I just want to say an absolute huge thank you to absolutely everybody. You're helping me here. I just want to say a huge thank you to absolutely everybody for every bit of help and support that has been given to us along the way. And I now actually treasure class to my granddaughter wife, Mrs. Jennifer O'Riordan.
That's me. Jennifer O'Riordan.
Jennifer O'Riordan. Cheers.
Jennifer O'Riordan.
Cheers.
Thanks.
To
I know who they're
Jen Paul.
calling when they call
And
it.
finally, Paul's last little job.
Yeah. Oh yes. Sorry, if you just hold on. Momentos. You stay there, yeah, video. Yeah.
This is typical Paul and Jen.
I know it's you know, it's only something very small, but I suppose it's just a
It
token
looks
of
very big from here.
our thanks, Pat. Thank you very much, Pat,
Thank you
for
very much.
everything.
I just spend one.
Mammy,
Well, no, I was.
Oh no, sorry, yeah,
Excuse me, traditional dictator. Laurie, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Paul.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you a long
Thank you.
life,
Oh, please
Jennifer.
God.
Thank you so much. They are
Yeah.
so
Very much.
fab.
I'll get out of the way of the pictures.
Yes.
Thank you. They are gorgeous. Thank you for thinking of me.
I haven't got the time to spare as a real frack if you'd need it to bring stuff home.
Thank you so much.
So that wraps up our speeches.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to get a drink before the main, before we get called,
Yeah.
quarter past, then just relax.
What time is it now?